try this once more. Yeah, it's kind of glitched out the last time I tried it. Yeah, this is a video I want to watch today. Debate about veganism. We'll watch maybe the first couple of minutes here. There's some points I want to make about the lady who's doing it. I'd done it before, but some of the audio wasn't working. So now who looks silly? Bait. I should probably get all this stuff fixed before, put in place beforehand. Make things go a little bit more smoother. More smooth. Alright. It feels like there's a couple of flaws in the way she goes about trying to defend this subject. Not so. Maybe to clarify my own position on this, like, I don't think gratuitous suffering is necessarily a good thing. I think the way some farmers go about doing stuff with animals is despicable. They cause unnecessary suffering. And I think a lot of people would jump in and say, "Oh, it's all unnecessary." Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. In any case, that's kind of my position.
Welcome back to the final bracket of the debates, ladies and gentlemen. We have the vegans on the left.
That's marketing on this. I guess I don't know who does this. Hammond Chowdhury. I guess maybe there's some sort of belt there. I got distracted by.
And then we have the farmers on the right.
Yeah, farmers. Sasha Squires. John Martin. Good solid names.
All right, so we're going to start off with the first
That guy has
question.
an Ireland sweatshirt. Never
And
trust
you've
someone
got
who does that.
2 minutes. You know what? Let's just free roll it. All right?
Man, he
Who
looks
wants
like
to
he's
free
wearing
roll it?
lipstick.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go. All right, your statement, Tash, saying if you're not a vegan, you're an animal abuser. Please elaborate.
Yes, so all
It feels like a little bit of a sensational phrasing of stuff, which is something I think, like, if you want to be taken seriously, you can use sensationalism, but it has to be few and far between. It's like I think I said this in a previous video. People just become insensitive to it. Right? When you shock them all the time, guess what? It becomes harder and harder to shock them.
industries, including the meat, dairy, and egg industries, leather, wool, fur, feather, scales, they're all inherently abusive, and they all murder
Inherently. Kind of an interesting turn of phrase.
animals to make profit
Interesting idea.
from them, or once they're considered no longer profitable to the industries.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Animals are blatantly abused in these industries. I could
Don't know
run
about.
plenty examples.
Yeah.
I'll start with the meat
Obviously, there would certainly be examples of that. Yeah.
industry. Example is pigs. They are 6 months old when they're forced into carbon dioxide gas chambers, and they literally burn from the inside out.
I don't know if I guess I don't know anything about this, but I hate when people use the word literally to mean something that literally doesn't mean what it means.
We've been outside these slaughterhouses hearing these pigs scream. We've been inside piggeries and seen babies dying on the floor having seizures. We've seen mothers in these crates with tears in their eyes because they spend their entire life in a crate, forced to repeatedly give
It feels
birth.
like a lot of this is kind of an appeal to emotion, but like it might be true. For the record, that's sad if it is. Uh, Again, like I said, not a fan of gratuitous suffering, but
Babies. This is the meat industry. Let's move on to the dairy industry where mothers are raped. And
for the record, this is a point that in the animal kingdom, the whole thing of consent doesn't seem to be a huge thing. I guess you don't. It's an outside perspective, so you don't really know what all goes into that. But yeah, it's not exactly a nice place to live or die, right?
give birth after a 9-month pregnancy, her baby is often immediately taken away from her. Why? So you can drink her.
I guess my point is that, like, if you're saying we should leave these animals in the animal kingdom, would they have measurably better lives? Would that be an improvement in some sense? Probably in some cases, maybe. But in the animal kingdom, they're probably going to either die die of starvation or some sort of disease, or coyotes are gonna take them down and eat them alive while they're still kicking. So again, not a nice place to live or die. It's perhaps equally barbarous as whatever the farmers do to them. Oh, I don't
If
know.
her baby is born male, he's murdered. He's shot in the head
Oh,
on the
murdered. Point of order. Unjustified killing. Immoral killing.
spot by the farmer, or he's sent to a slaughterhouse to be processed as veal. We're talking about babies just days to weeks old. This is the dairy industry.
And you're gonna hear her use a lot of language that I think it attempts to like anthropomorphize animals, which I guess okay, but in my opinion, like once you go past like humans and like that type of thing, like if you don't place some sort of significance on your own species, it feels like there's not a lot of convenient stopping places after that. If I don't stop at humans and take my empathy all the way to animals and say that they're the same as us, why shouldn't I take it to plants? I mean, there's in theory evidence that plants are capable of reacting. I could see a world in which we learn that technically these vegans, by eating plants or fruit or whatever, are just as barbarous as those who eat animals.
Egg industry. Chickens are forced to lay hundreds more eggs than they're naturally bred to. And the male chicks are macerated on their first day of life.
That's the thing, like hundreds of more eggs than they're meant to. I'm just like wondering over what period of time, because it sounds like just the word picture there is like I'm imagining them training out hundreds of eggs in a day, which obviously wouldn't happen. Maybe they're given growth hormones or something, or hormones of some sort that make them produce more often.
Because they're born male. So that's the same in the dairy industry. The males are murdered as babies because they're not considered profitable. These industries subject animals to enslavement, rape, torture,
Enslavement, rape, torture. Again, I feel like she's trying to anthropomorphize animals. So be it, I guess.
abuse, and murder. And they should have the right to live just like we do. And we need to stop oppressing species. If you don't believe me, you can go onto YouTube and watch Dominion. It's an Australian documentary.
I'd heard about this. Um, there was some sort of thing about it being a craze in colleges or something, where people would like become vegans while they're in college, and then they would kind of fall out of it afterwards a little bit. Yeah, I guess yeah, maybe it's just the community there allows for it to happen. There's kind of a, what is it called? Some sort of hive mind fervor.
We've both met people who took the footage in these industries. They suffer from severe PTSD from what they've witnessed. They risk their lives to get this footage. It's not propaganda. See it for yourself. We've both been inside these places and we've seen what is happening to non human animals, and it
Non-human animals.
is an absolute
Is
atrocity.
it an equivocation or webbing or I don't know? Trying to draw an equivalency between humans and animals.
It is more than abuse, it's the largest Holocaust in history,
Sensationalism.
with 3 trillion individuals brutally murdered every year
Individuals.
just for
You've
human
never
meat
visited my
consumption.
place.
How do you know?
Because if you had,
Yeah, that's kind of the end of where I was going to. For the record, he goes on one for a little bit, but there's some cussing. He is an interesting fellow, and I think he's at least right, at least in the parts I saw. Yeah. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.